What's the most shocking thing your spouse kept from you? My wife's coworker told me he was in love with her right at our dinner table. But instead of losing it, my wife grabbed my hand, looked him dead in the eyes, and said, "My husband already knows. He's known longer than you have." It started 6 months ago when my wife got promoted to project lead at her architecture firm. She started working late with this guy Derek on some luxury condo redesign. At first, I didn't think anything of it. He'd text her blueprints at 10 p.m. She'd laugh at something he sent during breakfast. Normal stuff, right? Then the small things started piling up. Derek remembered she takes her coffee with oat milk and 2 sugars. I found that out on our 4th date. He got her a first edition of her favorite book for her birthday. I got her the same one 3 years ago, but mine was a paperback. He knew she was allergic to lilies when he brought flowers to the office. Every other guy brought lilies. My buddy Marcus pulled me aside at a barbecue and said, "Man, I don't want to overstep, but that Derek guy watches your wife like she's the only person in the room." I told Marcus I knew. He looked confused, so I said, "Just come to dinner next Friday and you'll understand." See, what nobody knew was that 6 weeks earlier I'd found Derek's journal. He left it in my wife's work bag by accident. She asked me to grab her laptop charger and there it was. A leather notebook with her name written on the first page. I know I shouldn't have read it, but I did. Every single entry was about her. The way she tucks her hair behind her ear when she's focused. How her voice gets softer when she talks about our daughter. How she hums while she sketches. He wrote about the exact moment he fell for her. It was the day she stayed 4 extra hours to fix a junior architect's mistake without telling anyone, so no one would get in trouble. He wrote she's the kind of person who carries other people's weight without ever letting them feel heavy. I sat with that journal for 2 hours feeling something I didn't expect. I wasn't angry. I was sad for him because every single thing he loved about her was something I got to come home to every night. I put the journal back and never said a word, but I started paying closer attention. The way he'd hold doors just for her, finish her sentences in meetings. The way his whole energy shifted when she walked into a room. My wife noticed me noticing. One night after our daughter was asleep, she sat on the edge of our bed and said, "You know about Derek, don't you?" I said, "Yeah." She started crying. Not because she had feelings for him, but because she felt guilty she hadn't shut it down sooner. She said he never crossed a line, never touched me, never said anything inappropriate, but I can feel it and I don't know what to do. I told her I had a plan. The following Friday, I invited Derek to dinner along with Marcus and his wife and another couple from our street. Derek showed up with a bottle of wine that cost more than our dining table. I could tell he was nervous. Halfway through dinner, after the second bottle, Derek started getting quiet while everyone else was laughing. He just kept looking at my wife. Finally, Marcus said, "You are a good man," and that's when Derek broke. He looked right at her and said, "I'm in love with you. I've been in love with you for months and I'm sorry." The table went dead silent. My wife didn't flinch. She grabbed my hand under the table, looked at Derek and said, "My husband already knows. He's known longer than you have." Derek looked at me like he was waiting for me to flip the table. Instead, I reached behind my chair, grabbed a folder and slid it across the table. Inside was a job listing. Senior architect at a firm in Seattle, the best in the country for what he does. Plus a recommendation letter I'd written myself. I'd called their hiring manager 2 weeks prior, told him about Derek's talent and dedication. The manager said, "Send him our way." Derek read the listing and his hands started shaking. "You did this for me?" he asked. I said, "You're not a bad guy, Derek. You just fell for someone who's already taken, and staying here is going to eat you alive. This is your shot." Nobody spoke for a long time. Then he closed the folder, looked at my wife one last time and said, "He doesn't deserve you." Then he looked at me and said, "Actually, yeah, he does." He took the job 3 weeks later. The night before he left, he dropped something at our door. It was that leather journal with one new entry written at the very back. I spent months writing about the woman I wanted to be with, but the man who helped me walk away from her taught me what love actually looks like.